crazy idea, and didn't work out. It was the first day of Eid al-Fitr, that's the holiday after Ramadan, and the meeting didn't work well, whatever. I opened the map, I said, listen, I'm next to Haran. So I said, okay, let's go. And
You leave your
the
cap on?
fact, no, I had a cap on. And we drove to Haran, and the Turkish, they worked with me. She said, oh, it's crazy, it's very close to the border with Syria. So it's actually on the way, you pass the refugee camps of Syrians, and even we passed next to a place named Kobani. That's a place that was occupied by ISIS. And we get to the place, so you see a sign, it says Syria. 15 kilometers, like 10 miles, Syria. Okay, no problem. We go there, and I turn left, and you see a sign, Haran. Haran, and for me it was fascinating I live in this city, and to live in the place, and to visit the place Abram actually lived for 25 years. After leaving Ur, he moved to Haran. That place, his father Terach passed away, and then he was asked by God, listen, lech lecha me'artzecha, leave your house and move to the land I will show you. And Abram is doing a long journey to the land of Israel, passes by the place that you're staying in Har Bracha, just beneath Elon Moreh, goes inside the city. And the first place is Shechem. From that, he builds an altar, and from that place, he goes up to Beth-El, passes Yerushalayim, that wasn't named Yerushalayim, and settles on top of this place, Hebron. Abram lived in Israel for 51 years, 25 years here. Just a few days ago, I had the privilege to be in Beersheba, and the ancient city of Beersheba. 26 years he lived there. Beersheba is just the ancient city of Beersheba is 40 minutes away from here. There he lived for 26 years, he lived for 25 years. And Abram lived here in this city for 25 years. In this city he had Yitzchak, Isaac, and when he was 99 years old, that's before Isaac was born, he had the visit of the angels. So the visit of the angels happened right here in this place. And from here we went to serve those angels and to make them some food. And traditionally it says that he went to make them, it says in the Bible that he went to make them some barbecue, a calf, and that calf ran down to the valley and jumped inside the cave. And inside the cave of the Machpelah, he had seen the first couple in the world, Adam and Eve. A year later he had his second son, Isaac. When Isaac was 37, that time he lived in Beersheba. And thank God we have a happy end in Jerusalem, but Sarah passed away. And that brings us to the 23rd chapter in Genesis. Sarah passes away, and Abram comes to the city and he says, I want to buy the cave of the Machpelah. And he meets Ephron by the gate of the city. So this is the biblical city. Where is the gate? We have no idea, but needs to be surrounding us because we are standing on top of the wall of the city. This wall is 4,200 years old. Just outside of the wall, there is another wall, 3,700 years old. Between them, there is a road, sidewalk, a pavement. This is the road that Abraham, Isaac, Rebecca, Isaac, Jacob, Leah walked up and down. This is the biblical city. So Abram meets Ephron and says, listen, I want to buy this piece of land, the cave. He says, for you as a gift. He says, you can choose this cave, that cave. He says, no, I want exactly this cave. I want to buy this place. And he pays 400 silver shekels. Imagine, he lived in Israel for so many years, and he didn't have a piece of land. The first announcement of ownership of land comes after the passing away of Sarah, the mother, here in Hebron. So the first piece of land that he has in Israel is the cave of Machpelah, the field in the cave of the Machpelah. Sarah was buried inside. Later on, Abraham, Isaac and Rebecca, Jacob and Leah, and just mother is missing. One mother. Who's missing? Who's not there? Why Rachel is not buried at the cave? What's the reason? But that's not so far away. Huh? Why she wasn't brought to the cave of Machpelah? That's why she was punished. Why one of the reasons why she was punished and she died. But it says we have a famous prophet from the First Temple period, Jeremiah. He says, Rachel, you have a mission. I will say it in Hebrew and then in English. Kol barama nishma li bechit amurim. There is a sound of cry
Oh,
in the
yeah.
plains. Rachel mevaka al banea. She cries for her kids. Me'ana li nachem. Nobody can stop Rachel to stop crying. And the people say, stop crying. Me'ana li nachem al banea ki enenu. Banea, her kids, ki enenu. They're away. They went to exile. And Jeremiah says, there is a promise of God. Meni kolech mibechi. Stop crying. Ve'enayich midima. Stop tears from your eyes. Ki esachar lepeulatech. God will pay you back by your prayers, and your kids will come back to this land. So she is on the way, following the kids to exile, to the diaspora, and she is praying for them to come back to the land of Israel. And that's the reason Rachel wasn't buried on the Kever Machpelah traditionally. She was buried on the way because she's still on a mission. She's still on the mission, praying for her kids that they will come back to this land, and we can see. Just this Friday, interesting. I have Arab neighbors here, and the kids, the kids of the kids that live next to me in Gush Etzion, they ask for how do you call the donkeys and the horses? They have the apretto. So in Israel, for donkeys, just Arabs make it. So I asked this Arab to buy it, so I went to his house to pick it up, and he asked me, "What's the mezuzah? What's inside?" He says, Esa misparim, 10 numbers, so he meant like the 10 commandments. I said, no, it's Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And I was explaining him, and at the end of the conversation, we got to talk about Jeremiah. And they said, we haven't heard about Jeremiah. So I opened Wikipedia and I showed them in Arabic. And I said, when Jews will behave good, we are here. If not, God will punish us. And you say 2,000 years, it's crazy to explain it to Arab. Their nephew was arrested as an ISIS member.
Wow.
So to explain them that, it's a crazy city.
What, did he receive that?
Yeah,
He
you
asked.
know me, sometimes I invite them and I say, okay guys, I need to pray, so. It's interesting. Yeah, so those walls that surrounded the city of Hebron, from the valley we will see from the top, Joseph was sent to Shechem to look for his brothers. At the end he went to Dotan, Emek Dotan, the valley of Dotan, then he was thrown to the whale, and then he was sold. He did all the way down to Egypt, and by the path of Joseph, at the end of the story, the sons of Jacob, of Israel, they went down to Egypt, and we were in Egypt for hundreds of years. And at the end of the day, we had Exodus, and God took the Jewish people out of Egypt all the way back to Israel. While the Jewish people were in Egypt,